Good morning, students. So, today here we are with again a next new topic for you: women, caste, and reform. As you already know earlier, in the past times, the condition of women was not good in the society. They have faced a lot many things in their life. So, what all reforms are made regarding the women, children, and women from different castes? That is what we are going to study today in this topic of history. Working towards the change. In early 19th century, things changed because of the development of new forms of communication. Social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy founded Brahmo Samaj in Calcutta. Raja Ram Mohan Roy pioneered this reform movement. He opposed social practices such as discrimination on the basis of caste, untouchability, superstitions, the customs of sati. He wanted to spread the knowledge of Western education and bring about freedom and equality for women. So, one of the prominent names we will study as reformers in this history is known as Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and he was against discrimination on the basis of caste, untouchability, superstitious, and especially the custom of sati. He was against it and wanted to fight, and he wanted the Western education for women to bring freedom and equality for women. Changing the lives of widows. So, for widows also initiatives were taken. Raja Ram Mohan Roy set up the Brahmo Samaj to fight against social evils. As we know, the society has made many rituals which are not beneficial to the society and the people living in it. So he wanted to fight against that social evils as well. He began a campaign against the practice of sati. Many British officials criticized Indian traditions and customs. They supported him, and in 1829 sati was banned. He also supported women's education. In the religious field, he opposed idol worshipping and meaningless rituals. As the Britishers who came to India, they saw the customs and rituals of the Indian people and they find it meaningless and worthless, and they also supported Raja Ram Mohan Roy in this and criticized the Indian traditions and customs. So with their support and help, in 1829 sati was banned in India, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy was opposing in ideal worshipping and meaningless rituals. Another reformer is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He was one of the most famous reformer who suggested widow remarriage. In 1856, British officials passed the law permitting widow remarriage. So he was the one who was suggesting widow remarriage should be there, and in 1856 a law was passed permitting widow remarriage. Similarly, another reformer who was also taking part in this field for the widow remarriage, his name is Swami Dayanand Saraswati. He founded the Arya Samaj in 1875, and he was with the support for the widow remarriage. Girls began going to school. Many reformers felt that to improve the condition of women, education for girls was necessary. Many reformers in Bombay and Vidyasagar in Calcutta set up schools for girls. With the inauguration of the first school in the mid-19th century, many people feared that school would take the girls away from home and prevent them from doing domestic duties. Many people believed that girls should be kept away from public spaces as they believed that they can get corrupting influence. In aristocratic Muslim families in North India, women learned to read the Quran in Arabic. They were taught by the women who came home to teach. So overall in this slide, we see that reformers in India believe that if we can only improve the condition of women if we educate them, because by educating them, they will know what their rights and what their freedom is for them. There were schools were being set up for girls. With the opening of schools, people thought that if they will send their girls to the schools, then who will do the household duties? Domestic duties should be done by the women and the girls only. People also believe that they do not want to send their girls to public spaces as they will get a corrupting influence. And similarly, in the Muslim families, the girls were being taught Quran in Arabic only when the women used to come and teach at their home only. They were not supposed to go out. So, what do you think? Reformers believe that educating women will end their suppression. As we know, like women were being suppressed in the society. There were male dominance in the society, and therefore reformers believe that educating women would help them get out of this suppression. So what is your point of view? Do write in the comment box below. So P instructions are there. Brahmo Samaj was founded by, the options are Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Choose the correct option. For Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he was the founder of Arya Samaj. He used religious texts to justify his points. He is the firm believer in idol worshipping. He founded Brahmo Samaj in Delhi. So, what option is correct according to you? The answers of the P instructions will be given in the description box. After solving them, do check and match the wrong and the correct ones. Women write about women. There are many women who took initiative in the field of women and wrote many writings for them also. Muslim women like Begums of Bhopal promoted education among women and founded a primary school for girls at Aligarh. Begum Ruqayya Sakawat Hussain started schools for Muslim girls in Patna and Calcutta. Indian women began to enter universities by 1880s. Some of them trained to be doctors and teachers. So the Begums of Bhopal, they opened a primary school for girls in Aligarh, and Begum Ruqayya, she opened Muslim girls' school in Patna and Calcutta. And similarly, not only schools, the Indian women were reaching universities also by 1880s. Tarabai Shinde got education at home at Pune, published a book, Sri Purush Tulna, and this book was about the comparison between women and men, criticizing the social differences between men and women. Pandita Ramabai was a great scholar of Sanskrit and wrote a book about the miserable lives of upper class Hindu women. And she founded a widow home at Pune to provide shelters to the widow who had been treated badly by the husbands and relatives. So Pandita Ramabai, she also fighted for women upliftment, and she founded widow home at Pune to provide shelter to widows. And she thought about the upper class Hindu women as they were also facing the same treatment as other women. Later, women were trained to support themselves economically. Orthodox Hindus and Muslim nationalists were worried as women started adopting Western culture, and according to them, they could corrupt and erode family values. So, as the reformers were taking initiative to make women independent without any support, they were training themselves so that they can work and have good economically being supporting their families. So Orthodox Hindu and Muslim people thought that if this woman will adopt Western culture, it will erode their family values. Their family values will be suffering. Women started working for reforms. They wrote books, magazines, founded schools, training centers, set up for women association. So women were fighting for their own right. They were not like stopping back at the home. Though they found many hurdles, but still they were part of it. Women founded political pressure groups to push through laws for female suffrage. So as we know, the right to vote was only for men in the past times. So the women were also taking initiatives to get the right to vote because they are also the part of society and they should have also get equal opportunities for themselves. So they were forming political pressure groups. Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose gave their support to demands for greater equality and freedom for women. So, two main fighters, like we will know, Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, they also supported for greater equality and freedom for women of the country. So, clear instructions are there. Indian women began to enter universities by the following dates. Which one do you find is correct? Write the answer below. Choose the best option regarding Sri Purush Tulna. It is a book comprising women and men. It is written by Pandita Ramabai. So the options are: first is true but second is false. Second is true but first is false. Both are true and both are false. So which option do you find appropriate? Right. Caste and social reform. Social reformers criticized caste inequalities. Paramahansa Mandali was formed in 1840 in Bombay to work for abolition of caste. The Prarthana Samaj adhered to the tradition of bhakti that believed in spiritual equality for all castes. So Paramahansa Mandali was formed in 1840 for abolition of caste system in India and the inequalities faced by the people. The Prarthana Samaj also worked for the equality for all castes. Christian missionaries began setting up schools for tribal groups and lower caste children. So Christian missionaries were also taking initiative and setting up schools for tribal groups and lower caste children. There were availability of jobs in cities and factories. So overall, we would say that jobs were being created for people. People from low caste were also getting jobs as laborers. The work was very hard enough, but the poor people had got a chance to prove themselves and get themselves free from the upper class dominance who exercised daily humiliation over them and exploited them. So they wanted to get free from there, so they were ready to do each and every job. So army was another option for the people. In the Mahar regiment, the Mahar people who were regarded as untouchables were getting jobs in the army. So like many opportunities were given to bring a change in the society and for the women. Demand for equality and justice. By the second half of the 19th century, people from within the lower caste began organizing movements against the caste discrimination and demanded social equality and justice. So by the second half, so people were now a complete, they were like energied and they wanted to fight for their rights, and they were completely against caste discrimination and divided social equality and justice. The Satnami movement in central India was by Ghasidas, who came from a low caste, organized a movement to improve their social status. In eastern Bengal, Haridas Thakur's Matwa sect worked among lower caste. Chandala cultivators Haridas questioned the Brahmical test that supported the caste system. So Satnami movement was founded by Haridas to improve the social status of people from low caste. Even in Haridas Thakur, he challenged the Brahmanical text who supported the caste system. Srinarayan Guru, a guru from Izawa caste, given his views on caste system. One caste, one religion, one God for humankind. This was said by Srinarayan Guru. So Gulamgiri is a famous work. It is written by Jyotibai Phule. Jyotibai Phule is born in 1827 and was known as one of the low caste leaders. She belonged to low caste and she was a very famous prominent leader. He attacked the Brahmins claimed that they were superior to others since they were Aryans. According to Phule, the upper caste had no right to their land and power. The land belonged to the indigenous group who were called as the low castes. The Satya Sodak Samaj was founded by Phule to propagate caste equality. So, but Phule has its own point of view. He used to believe that the upper caste people has no right over land and power. It is for the people of low caste. So therefore, he established a Satya Sodak Samaj to propagate caste equality. Phule wrote a book called Gulamgiri, meaning slavery. So Phule wrote a book named as Gulamgiri, which meant in English as slavery. He established a link between conditions of lower caste in India and the black slaves in America. There was a comparison being made between the conditions of lower caste of India and similarly the discrimination faced by black slaves in America. The condition was same, the names were different, and people from different regions. In 20th century, the movement for caste reforms was continued by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and E.B. Ramaswamy Nikayar. Who could enter temples? So, as we know, earlier in temples, entry was also being prohibited. So, that's what we are going to study now. Ambedkar was born into a Mahar family. As I earlier told you, Mahar were the people who were considered as untouchables. As a child, he experienced caste prejudice. In school, he was forced to sit outside the classroom on the ground and was not allowed to drink water from the taps that upper caste children used. So since Ambedkar from Mahar caste family, so he has faced a lot of discrimination since his school time, in his childhood. So he was not allowed to sit in the classroom as we used to see. So he was sitting outside and get education. And he was not allowed to drink water from the school. Those schools were made for all the caste peoples, but still people used to treat them badly in school. In 1919, when he came back from USA, he wrote about upper caste power in contemporary society. In 1927, Ambedkar started a temple entry movement. His aim was to make everyone see the power of caste and prejudices in the society. So, as Mahar people or other low caste people were not allowed to enter temples, so in 1927, Ambedkar started a temple entry movement. He wanted to see the changes in the society. So, another P instructions for you. Choose the correct option regarding Satya Sodak Samaj. Its founder is Jyotiba Phule. It works for women education. Options are: first is true but second is false. Second is true but first is false. Both are true and both are false. Ambedkar started temporal entry movement in 1927, 1999, 1928. So mark the correct answers.